My grandfather, my mom's dad, passed away recently. After he died, my grandmother decided to move into a seniors community. She was moving from a house to a one-bedroom flat, so there was lots of items she didn't need. The house was pretty full and lived in because she and my grandfather lived in it for like 50 years. When we were going through the attic, we found boxes and boxes of old pictures. My grandmother wanted to go through them. In some, there were pictures of my mom when she was little and there was a baby in them, or a kid younger than her. I asked her who it was because she doesn't have a sister and she doesn't have any aunts and uncles, so no cousins either. My dad said my mom had a younger sister, but she died from cot death, and to not say anything to my grandmother because it would upset her to talk about, especially so close after my grandfather's death. At the time, what my parents told me made sense. After that, I helped to move the furniture to her new flat or to sort out what she was not keeping. I honestly forgot about the pictures. The next month, I found one of my dad with a woman in a bridal gown. It wasn't my mom, and I could not figure out why my mom's parents would have a photograph of my dad at a wedding not to their daughter. My mom was there when I found it, and she couldn't explain it then. The next day, my grandmother told me the truth when I confronted her. My mom had a sister. She was married to my dad. My dad played with my mom, who was his wife's sister, and I was born from the affair. My dad divorced my mom's sister to be with my mom. My mom's sister went away somewhere else because my grandmother and grandfather wouldn't condemn the divorce, and they are estranged and not in contact now for almost 30 years. My dad's parents also knew all of this and didn't tell me. My mom and dad never bothered to get married after his eventual divorce from my mom's sister. I'm angry that the only family members I have, my parents and both sets of grandparents, have kept this from me. I would never have known if I didn't accidentally see those pictures. My grandmother had thought they got rid of all the photographs of my mom's sister. My parents and my other grandparents have admitted this too and told me the same thing as my grandmother. My parents tell me it is none of my concern since it happened before I was born and doesn't affect me. I disagree. Such a big secret should have never been kept from me. Plus, I don't agree with the behavior of anyone involved in this. Do you believe I'm right to be angry, or are my parents and grandparents correct and I'm in error? Now the top comments. Not the a-hole, but holy shoot, that's like a plot of a movie. You have the right to be angry they didn't tell you, but I'm sure they were all ashamed. When would have been the right time to tell you, really? No time would have made any of it better. It's painful to learn our parents and grandparents are not saints, but this is another level. I feel so sorry for your aunt. She lost her entire family. On the other hand, I would think that having you in the picture had a lot to do with it. People can extend their bitterness to innocent children. Your family was probably trying to protect you from being hated for no reason other than that you were born. Lots of families have secrets they keep from kids, even when they become adults. Usually because the secret is something considered shameful, at least at the time it happened. Not the a-hole because your feelings are valid. I empathize with you because my family also had secrets kept from us kids, which I figured out at 13 but didn't admit it openly until in my 30s. The problem with family secrets is that they seem like a good idea at first, but it's so stupid to hang on to those secrets when the kids grow up, because the great likelihood of them finding out when older and then feeling betrayed, just like what happened to you. Probably wise of them to decide to not tell you when you were young, because you might have felt guilt when you shouldn't have. Kids centralize info like this. But they should have told you when you were old enough to understand. Not wait until you found out on your own at age 29. And even if they did get rid of all photos, there was always the chance of you and your estranged aunt submitting DNA to a heritage site. Or the aunt could have gotten in touch with you. So many ways this secret could have gotten out, and yet they still didn't tell you. And worse still, chose not to tell you the truth when you found the first pictures. Shame on them. I agree with the other comment about where is your aunt and why would your mom's parents not keep in touch with her, instead giving their loyalty to your mom considering all that occurred? So I, male 32, have been married to my wife Allie, female 33, for 5 years. Her dad was a restaurant business owner and her mom was a stay-at-home mom. Both of Allie's sisters got married to very successful guys and had kids. At the beginning of our relationship, I was starting my own construction business. I wasn't making a ton of money and Allie's parents hated it. Her sisters always tried to set Allie up with their husband's friends. Her father disapproved of our wedding and forced Allie to ask for a prenup if she wanted help with the wedding. Allie also asked for us to have separate finances. We have had a loving marriage so far, even with the rocky start. But whenever she visits her family, I tend to not go. So Allie's dad made some bad investments, got screwed by his partner, and his business took big losses. Due to this, him and his wife are struggling to retire like they hoped. Allie's sisters came up with a surprise for their parents on their 40th wedding anniversary. They would pay off their house and send them on a vacation to celebrate retirement. Whole thing would cost about $30K. Each sister would be responsible for $10K. Allie has always paid for things regarding her family, and I pay for mine. She gets along with my parents, however, and will buy things for them sometimes. So Allie is a school teacher, and when she found out about the plan, she asked me for $8K. I literally laughed. I said her parents were awful to me, thought I was a broke loser, and you asked for a prenup. That our finances were separate because she asked for it, and I don't plan on changing it. Allie said she didn't have the money right now, but would pay me back, which I know is BS and isn't something I'd consider anyway, as I intend to not help her family out in any way. Allie and her sisters got on a Zoom call to talk about it. I was called into the meeting and asked by the sisters to have some empathy. I told them I made my decision and then was berated. Her sisters went off how I'm holding a grudge still, how I should be willing to help my wife, and how it's just money. I said how neither of them have worked a day in their lives. One's a stay-at-home mom and one divorced their doctor husband and gets alimony. How neither of them gave me a chance 6 years ago. How neither of them are using their money either, just using their husbands like they always do. That Allie asked for a prenup because their dad thought I was a loser and now he needs my help. That Allie should have managed her money better. I told them both never to ask me for a favor again. After we got off the call, Allie said she feels like I'm being unfair and petty, that I've helped my parents out before, which is true. I bought my dad a new $30K truck about a year ago. I said that's because my silly business took off and I can afford to do those things, and that her parents are her responsibility and I don't owe them a thing. My parents think, while I'm not in the wrong, laughing at my wife's request was kind of an a-hole move. Am I the a-hole? Now the top comments. Everyone sucks here. Allie and her family suck the worst. You didn't need to laugh. As an aside, I'd think about what's important to you here, because this is the kind of thing that ends marriages. Is this refusal to help her parents worth losing your wife over? Is your pride worth it? It's not wrong if you think about it and realize the answer is yes. But it would be awful if you realize after the fact that you didn't want to lose her after all. Like, I personally wouldn't have married if this was the situation, but that's me. This is not an advice subreddit, but I'm going to give you advice anyway, as someone who has been married quite a bit longer. Your wife feels like crap, and that's on you. She feels bad because, number 1, she loves her parents and hates that they're hurting. Number 2, knows it must be embarrassing for them to need help, especially from you. Number 3, she feels bad for the way they treated you years ago, and that she didn't protect you from them. Number 4, she feels bad that she herself doesn't earn enough to help in the way she wishes she could. Number 5, she knows asking you for money makes her a hypocrite, but she loves her parents enough to lower herself to do that for them. Number 6, in all these years, she hasn't been able to mend the relationship between the people she loves best. Number 7, the person she loves most laughed at her. I don't know what to tell you about giving or lending money, but unless your wife is an idiot, she knew very well what your reaction would be, but had the courage to ask you anyway. It was that important to her, and you laughed. Your wife hasn't done anything to earn your scorn. You should fix this. Update. Yes, her parents tried apologizing, but I have a feeling this is only because my business took off. They try to invite me to come to holidays and stuff, but I don't respond. My sister has a wedding coming up this summer. It's not a destination wedding, it'll be in a local park/pavilion. She just told us about it recently and told us to expect the invitations. But we knew it was a possibility with, as I heard recently, her boyfriend asked our dad about how he would feel if they got married. Essentially asking for her hand in marriage. Old-fashioned, but I guess. Well, when we received the invitations, it said this wedding will be child-free. Once I got my invitation, I called my sister up just to discuss the wedding and give her my response by phone. I didn't mention about the child-free part, Just asked about the wedding and how her planning was going. She seemed excited, told me she can't wait to be the center of attention on her special day. I congratulated her, but I told her as it's child-free and I have 2 sons, I wouldn't be able to make it. I would send a gift with our parents though. She kinda got upset and asked why I wasn't going to come. I simply told her weddings are family events for me, and if it's not a family event, I don't see the point, as in kids being allowed. Our parents are the important people to be there for her special day, so I don't feel my presence as direly needed. My sister was very unhappy about this. She yelled that I never even tried to find babysitting or come to her wedding. She got angry because last year I attended our cousin's wedding, and she feels hers should be more important and one I should want to attend. Their wedding wasn't child-free. My kids were there, very well behaved, and it was definitely a family event. I don't feel that I should shell out money to have someone watch my kids, just to watch her get married, and honestly, I just don't want to go. I didn't mention her changing the rule. I just told her I wouldn't be attending. She got angry and is now involving my husband and parents in my decision, saying if I choose not to come, she won't speak to me again. Her hill to die on, not my problem. My parents would like me to come just to keep the peace, and my husband says it's really my decision and he backs me either way. Personally, I don't feel like an a-hole because I'm not asking her to change anything. I'm just making a personal decision. Would I be the a-hole for not attending? Now the top comments. Going off grain here, you're the a-hole, and here is specifically why. To me, you're taking a slight offense to it. The comment about how weddings should be family affairs is nonsense. To each their own, and you're right in that, you don't have to go. And it is absolutely okay and not an insult to decline the invitation. However, your reasoning is unsound. A lot of people want weddings to be a party. Sometimes that means a grown-up party where adults can enjoy the celebration and unwind worry-free for a night. Your sister having a child-free wedding doesn't mean she doesn't want family there. Just means she wants everyone who attends to enjoy themselves responsibility-free. If you had a good/decent relationship with her growing up and you're simply choosing not to go over something so minuscule, yeah, you're the a-hole. She doesn't sound mad. She sounds sad that you can't be bothered to go and support her and have fun with her. There is nothing wrong with getting a sitter for that night so you can have a no-kids night. And I'm a parent, so even I'm not sure why this is a hill you want to die on. It's kinda silly. Good luck, OP. Me, male 24, and my girlfriend, female 23, of 2 years, went out to an Asian restaurant yesterday. I'm a white guy, she's Asian. And she had been saying all before we went how I shouldn't be afraid to try the real Chinese food that they have there. And I kept saying I was looking forward to it because I love trying new things. But every time I said that, she just raised an eyebrow and went, "We'll see." Well, we got there and the menu was in Mandarin with English subtitles, and they had all kinds of things on it I'd never even imagine. It looked awesome. I ordered jellyfish tentacles over vinegar as an appetizer, and she just went, "Okay, I get it," ordering the weirdest thing on the menu just to prove me wrong. And she's like, wouldn't believe me when I really enjoyed the dish. She tried some and just went, "Whoa, my God, there's no way you like that." And I just went, "Well, would you like to come take a seat inside my brain so you can tell for sure?" And she just rolled her eyes. I ordered the fried pork intestine. I've had tripe and I liked that, so I figured this would be cool. And the waiter was trying to discourage me from ordering it because he didn't think I would like it. As soon as he said that, my girlfriend just pounced and was like, "Yeah, no, he wouldn't like that. Don't order that. Order something you would like. Order fried rice or something." And I was like, "No, I want to try fried pork intestine, and I'm ordering fried pork intestine. And I'm not here to try fried rice. You can get that anywhere. I'm here for something I can't get anywhere else." And the waiter just cautiously took down the order. And girlfriend was like, "Well, you didn't have to be like that." I didn't even raise my voice. So I finally get the pork intestine. One of the chefs pokes his head out of the kitchen to watch me eat it. And it was incredible. I asked my girlfriend if she wanted any. She made a weird face and said, "No, obviously. You went and ordered the grossest thing possible just to make a point," and accused me of being passive-aggressive. I ate it all and wished there was more. And all the way home, she was saying how I'm passive-aggressive, and she can't believe I did what I did. And when we got home, I just said, "Look, I can't believe you're upset that I ordered food from a place you took me to, and you're even more upset that I liked it." She said, "If you're gonna be like this about my culture, then you are never meeting my parents." I mean, I don't know, maybe I was being passive-aggressive and just didn't realize it. People can be passive-aggressive unconsciously, right? I thought I was ordering what interested me and eating food I enjoyed, and I'm probably gonna go back to that place without her because the food was straight up fire. But maybe I should have ordered something less Asian so it doesn't look like I'm bragging about how I can handle Asian food. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like she should just be with an Asian guy so she can be with someone she believes. Now the top comments. Not the a-hole, but you guys need some serious communication. From this very limited post, take with salt. She sounds really nervous to be dating someone not Asian and have them meet her parents. Very likely her parents have a set expectation of a white guy their daughter would date. From your view, you have eaten similar foods before and thought they sounded good, but did not explain about tripe or if you've experienced calamari or your thought process behind ordering those foods. To her, it may have felt like you were trying to prove you were man enough for her, and she was feeling like you were not playing the preset role she or her parents expect. From your side, it sounds like you were honestly confused about why she'd be mad. I think talking it out on both sides is merited. Maybe as a compromise. You can both go to a restaurant you've never been to, like Nepali or Ethiopian cuisine, and you can talk about your thought process when you order from there, or that you're an adventurous eater.